One World of Sport and Caltex proudly present coverage of the 1992 Caltex International Truck Race Series.
Round 2 of the Caltex International Truck Race Series took the racers to the tricky, tight confines of Levels Raceway, Timaru last weekend. The controversy over the reverse grid start to the Super Prix was all on again. Early on race day, a meeting of drivers and promoters decided to split the grid, the fast guys to hang back at the start.
I'll be in the front grid.
Yeah.
Split will be the back five.
The back five.
At this stage, it looks like the back five, because it's going to be done on time.
But
pole position must wait for the flag to be dropped for the second start.
But you've got to be careful there's not a big gap, because you've got to remember they're racing over there when they get the flag and we're still rolling.
Just the length of the curve is the gap.
So what happened yesterday, and I'll tell you, there'll be stuff all trucks out there shortly.
I can see there's some reasons for it, but do we change the rules midway through the series, or do we stick with the rules laid down at the start? And as far as I'm concerned, rules are rules. You run by those conditions.
It doesn't really make for good racing, because if one fast truck can get through and the others get blocked, well, he's virtually got the race won.
I mean, it's up to the overtaking trucks to make sure they do it in safety. They've got 6, 8, 12 laps, whatever the race is, and if they want to try and make it into the first corner, well, they're not going to, unless they're going to be running with 4 wheels on the grass and that sort of thing. Well,
You've got 2 trucks running abreast in the slower ones, and the third one's got to go either side, or fourth one, and there's only 2 widths, enough width for 2 trucks, so it's definitely bad.
We've run this concept before, and it's proved to be very successful. It means basically that by the time the faster pack have caught up to the slower pack, they've got themselves sorted out. It should overcome that situation of having everybody arriving at the first corner at the same time.
We head into the new Texas Group 1 race, riding with Dino Sinton and his Scania. Dean, the man with the secret weapon here, as they head out into unknown territory. The first New Zealand truck race in the wet. And look at the effect it's got already as Eddie Howarth gets loose. Dean points the way down the back straight, and that's exactly the way it is. He heads out into the lead by virtue of the fact that the man has got some beautiful works-made tyres, wet weather tyres for the Scania. They were built for the truck when it was a Top Works racer in Europe, never been used. Were in the transporter when it was brought to New Zealand, and now they're making use of them. So Dino Sinton out in the front of this race, while everybody behind is having handfuls of problems. See a little bit oversteer there as he starts out onto the back straight. There's Inky Tulloch in the big Castrol Volvo white. And Avon Hyde finding out exactly how slippery it is here as he puts the Caltex white road boss, spins it around in the S's. Robin Porter having similar problems there in the Big Eagle Spares Kenworth. And Dean Sinton, he'll be a happy man with this, having found those tyres and the Otsu Tyres Scania now way out in front of the field. Ron Solder oversteering the little Mac onto the back straight as well. Dean Sinton coming through to do the job. The wet conditions here are a real experience for most people, but playing right into Dean Sinton's hands, that's for sure. Then it was the turn of the slower half of the field, the Group 2 qualifiers, to get into action in the transmissions and diesels race. Their first taste, too, of racing in the wet, as we ride with Rusty Hawker down the back straight of Levels for the first time. Already, though, it's Shane Chapman and the little Naga Racing Bedford getting out in front. This Detroit 6-cylinder powered truck is typical of the class. Quite a few of them now running in truck racing in New Zealand, and Shane doing a good job there. Chased hard by Doug Vasey, but already look at the gap he's opened up. Rusty Hawker got in front of him. Looks like the Mitsubishi of Red Egan. Frank Radisich at the wheel of that for this race. And that's indeed it. Frank Radisich in the number 30. Look at Daryl Chinnery loses the Pink Panther Bedford in the sweeper. Rex McCauley as well as he spins out in avoidance. A Bedford ballet there. But also Bedford power up front. Shane Chapman coming through there, doing a nice job in the wet. While everyone else is having problems, Doug Vasey also seems to have come to grips with things. Both these guys are well-experienced truckies. Frank Radisich, a man who's done a lot of racing in all sorts of machinery, but never trucks until last year. Just taking on Daryl Chinnery there, the man who was delayed earlier. But Shane Chapman looks like he's the man. If he can just keep it on the island through to the checkered flag, he's going to have another win in the bag. Claimed a few last year as well. Doug Vasey working there at the wheel of the split decision, Bedford. And back to Shane Chapman. Puts the power down again and comes through to take the checkered flag. One of the big crowd pleasers at the Ruapuna meeting was the Momo Top Gun Challenge, a series of three-lap sprints featuring just the top 6 trucks. Again, we ride with Dean Sinton as he rides up behind the Robin Porter Eagle Spares Kenworth, bumping around the infield there. Has to get on the brakes. You can see back in the field the other runners. That's Ron Salter and the EIT Kenworth. And look at this, Avon Hyde out the front, coming under pressure from Robin Porter. And the Eagle Spares Kenworth looks for a way down the inside, going into the S's. No way, gets the door shut there. You can see just how much these guys are having to tiptoe around this very slick surface still, and in fact still stepping off. Look at Sinton coming down the inside of Tulloch, pushes the Volvo wide out wide onto the track. Those tyres again paying off for Dino Sinton. Look at Tulloch trying to get traction as he drives onto the back straight. Avon Hyde, though, the man out front on the Caltex White Road Boss, doing a nice job. And again, the pressure comes on from Robin Porter. Closes right up. That truck openly admired by just about everybody here. All the people regard the Eagle Spares Kenworth, the only really top New Zealand built truck. Wow, look at that. A big shunt from behind from Robin Porter into Avon Hyde. Sends them both looping around on the S's. Look at Dean Sinton. Has to dive for the grass to find a way around. We're going to have to wait for the smoke to clear to see who's going to come out of this in front, whether it's Sinton or Tulloch, and it's Tulloch. He got the break, and Dean Sinton can only follow him as they head for the checkered flag. So it's an immediate reform, and then they're back in action again into the second race. And as you can see, Tulloch already grabs the lead straight away from Dean Sinton. Sinton now got pressure from behind from Avon Hyde, looking for a way by. Robin Porter right behind him, and Tulloch's already up and gone. Oh, and look at Hyde, just hang on to it. In fact, he gets right off through the gravel trap there on the S's. Robin Porter just has to sit back and watch. Doesn't want to get it tangled up in that lot at all. Inky Tulloch, though, the man out front in the big Castrol Volvo white. Look at Sinton close up on the back bumper. Right behind them. This is the tyres coming into play here again. The track's still very, very slick, and that's what's causing these guys so much bother. No one knows what sort of tyres to go to from one moment to the next. Look at Tulloch again, very, very loose, and that gives Sinton a chance. He tries the inside line. No, it's going to be the outside this time. I don't think there's a way around there. He has to go back in again, but the tyres working so well on the Scania. Now they're locked together down the back straight. That's Tulloch from Sinton, from Hyde. Porter slingshots onto the back straight as well. But Inky Tulloch, the man still holding the lead. Big Volvo white campaigned by Slim Borgert in Europe last year. Now got plenty of pressure from behind this time, though, because also Avon Hyde looking for a way by. Windscreen wipers going, tells you it's still raining out there. Look how close he is, right on the back bumper of Sinton through the infield turn. Trying to find some way past, while Sinton does likewise to Tulloch, but there's no way. Checkered flag looms up, and Sinton still in second, Hyde third, Porter fourth. So it all comes down to the final race. And let's see what happens this time. Avon Hyde, Sinton, Porter, Tulloch, that's the order. Look at Sinton. Unbelievable, gets it locked up even as he tries to go by. Hyde has to swing wide to let him through into the S's, and over the bumps they go. That was a brave move. I don't know whether Avon Hyde would have regarded as a good move, but he had to give way, and that's what counts. That could put Dean Sinton en route to a victory here in the Momo Top Gun. It's really only between himself and Inky Tulloch now. The two of them having shared the top 2 places in the earlier races. So Inky Tulloch has to make some ground right now and get up there and get in contention with Dean Sinton if he's going to do anything about it. But Avon Hyde stands between the two of them. Robin Porter just looks like he's taking a look at things at the moment, maybe conserving the truck for the Super Prix later. But Avon Hyde, right there, the block in between these two, the meat and the sandwich. And Dean Sinton really pushing hard now, and you can see that Avon Hyde's able to run with him, but Inky Tulloch looks like he's slipped a little bit off the pace there. Dean Sinton, the windscreen wipers going, tells you that the tyres he's got still working well for him. Look at Avon Hyde in comparison, just a little bit loose as he tries to keep the traction and tries to keep Inky Tulloch behind as well, of course. Inky Tulloch has to change exactly that, because at the moment we figure it out, they're tied on points, and the way the rules are in the Momo Top Gun, whoever wins the last race or is ahead at the last race is the winner. So Inky Tulloch's got it all to do, and only half will have to do it. I don't think there's a hope, and look at this. Dean Sinton indeed takes the checkered flag. He's going to be a real happy man about that.
We've been very, very happy with the truck today. Very happy. Boys have done a great job getting it together over the weekend, and I think they're justifiably proud.
Then it was time for the Group 2 boys to get back into action in the transmissions and diesels consolation. Lots more Bedfords in action again, but also Steady Eddie Howarth in the ERF. But look at Rusty Hawker starting to lose it in the Nissan, in fact completely losing it. So too does Daryl Chinnery. Red Egan just finds a way by, and I think that was Shane Chapman, Jeff Weir, sorry, also wheeling past in the Naga Racing Bedford. So that's Jeff Weir settling down there, ERF in the next spot. Go back to Doug Vasey in the Forest Freighters Bedford. But look at this. This is Martin Kennedy, his second ever truck race, and he's out front. The best Jeff Weir can do at the moment is hold down second, but he's got too much distance to make up at this point. He's going to need something to happen for the Kumho Tyres Bedford to be wound in this time. Steady Eddie Howarth coming through the sweeper there, having a better race meeting this time. But look at Red Egan cooking the brakes on the big Mitsubishi as he takes the sweeper.
Because of Eddie's,
this is him, Martin Kennedy. Young guy from Kumho in Auckland. Doing a nice job. Looks like he's out for a Sunday drive up there as he holds off the chase of Jeff Weir. The sponsor's product there, the Kumho Tyres truck, and the tyres working great as he takes the infield turn. Now a battle comes on for second place with Eddie Howarth mounting a challenge on Jeff Weir's Bedford. But it's the yellow Bedford out front that takes the checkered flag, Martin Kennedy. If they were worried about the reverse grid and the split grid, at least they had a dry track when it came time for the Dallow Oil Super Prix. The slow boys out front, Rusty Hawker and the Harry Thompson Bedford taking it away there, while Arnold Ehrenfeld in the big red Kenworth leads the faster end of the bunch. They've given the slow guys about 600 metres head start, just so they can get this sort of thing over and done with as they push through on the sweeper for the first time. That's Gary Davey in the big Kenworth pushing through, Ron Salter on the outside, and here's Arnie Ehrenfeld coming under intense pressure from the Dean Sinton Scania with a big traffic jam of Tulloch, Porter and Avon Hyde lined up behind. But up front it's Rusty Hawker just holding out the EIT Kenworth. Harry Thompson must have disappeared somewhere in the distance. We saw those two locked together before. Go back now. Look at that gap. There's Arnold Ehrenfeld. Dean Sinton right on his tail. Avon Hyde trying to find a way by there. And now Rusty Hawker gets dealt to by Ron Salter, thanks to a bit of cross-country driving there, Ronnie. And the Daryl Chinnery Pink Panther Bedford now getting the Arnold Ehrenfeld truck right behind him. Look at Red Egan, gets right off the infield just to get out of the big boy's way. He doesn't want to get caught up in this traffic jam. Dean Sinton pushing through there, keeping Inky Tulloch safely behind. Robin Porter, Avon Hyde, all the top guns right there together. Jeff Weir and Rusty Hawker there trying to form a little bit of a blockade by the looks of it as the big boys come looming up behind. No, Rusty wants to get out of the way, and sure enough, he pulls over to the side. Not so Gary Davey, though. He's got Inky Tulloch right on the back bumper of the big EIT Kenworth. Gary, with that big cab-over truck, carries a lot of weight over the front wheels and doesn't handle as well as the fast trucks, as you'll see. So Inky Tulloch pushes on through. There's the gap from second place to leader. You see the yellow Bedford disappearing into the distance down the back straight. That's Harry Thompson. Got it. Oh, no, Red Egan runs out of track on the sweeper, almost takes out our camera position and scrambles back on again. There's the EIT truck. Now Arnold Ehrenfeld from Sydney looms up behind. Inky Tulloch out front of him. So Arnold trying desperately to get through. He wants to stay in this race. So too does Robin Porter. Avon Hyde. Dean Sinton dropped off just a little. That's Inky Tulloch coming down the front straight, a belch of flame as he heads into the S's. Avon Hyde in trouble, and so too in pit lane is Arnold Ehrenfeld and Harry Thompson, the former race leader. This is Alf Williamson rounding out the S's in the little Bedford. Hello, that's Robin Porter, got a fifth wheel stuck underneath the Eagles Pierce Kenworth there. It's a tyre he's picked up on the front straight as they've flicked round there, just run off the edge. Not going to cause any bother, I wouldn't think. As it's stuck underneath there, he'll soon burn off that rubber. Inky Tulloch throwing the Volvo white around. He's out in front now, remember. Inherited the lead from Harry Thompson when he stopped, having driven right through the field from third from the back. So this reverse split grid still has carried the big boys right through to the front of the field. Ron Solder in the little Mac. Now that looks a bit of a worry. Very, very smoky there as Ron comes through the infield. Not a good sight at all, and could be on his way out of the race, I'd say. So it's down to Robin Porter and Avon Hyde fighting it out for second place, with Inky Tulloch on his way to the checkered flag in the big Volvo white. So the Southlander takes out round 2, easing out his lead in the Dallow Oils New Zealand Championship. Robin Porter sits back in second place, just 5 points behind. Avon Hyde on 47 and Dean Sinton in 4th spot. And it's a very happy Inky Tulloch who's come out on top.
We've had braking troubles and we've had handling troubles, and we've just had every sort of problem that you get when you're motorsport, and it was nice to win one, and win one so convincingly. We lost our brakes about the second last lap, but that's always on the cards. They get so hot. Apparently we split a drum.
After each championship round, a man's official checks the top 3 trucks to ensure they haven't exceeded their 160k speed limit. Fuel samples are also taken for testing.
Diesel is very easy to alter. Yeah. You only need a tiny little bit of something, whereas as against petrol you need about 20% of toluene or something like that to make a difference. Diesel, a tablespoonful of 10 gallons will alter the specifications of it dramatically.
The final race of the day, the New Zealand Trucking magazine Flying Farewell, is usually a no-quarter given affair. Dean Sinton going down the back straight at high speed already in the Scania. The red lights on the left are a telltale telling him that the governor is on. That means he's right on the 160k speed limit. Robin Porter right in front there, leading the charge as they try to round up the slower trucks. Stepping off the outside just a little bit. Eddie Howarth in the middle of the field, and a big ruck of trucks right in front of him. 2 Bedford side by side and a third one. And here come the big boys. The fast guys pushing through. Dean Sinton now watching Robin Porter as he rounds up the Daryl Chinnery Pink Panther truck, and they head down the short straight here. Look at Dean Sinton's head being bounced around inside that cab. Incredible G-forces coming to bear in these big trucks, and look at Robin Porter wheeling his way through the slower traffic. Goes by Doug Vasey and Rusty Hawker in one hit. Dean Sinton not so lucky, gets hung up behind the Bedford and the Nissan. Finding a way through on the inside this time, though, as they come round the sweeper. Inky Tulloch just there in the field, trying to sort his way through the traffic as well. Avon Hyde, you can see the Caltex truck, and Sinton. Look at the traffic. That's the Frank Radisich Mitsubishi forcing Dino Sinton right onto the grass in a bid to get round that. Has he got by? Yes, he has. Right on Tulloch's tail as they take the tight right-hander there. Look at that. You could see some action there, and I think, in fact, yes, look at the side of Tulloch's truck. Definitely copped a whack from Dean Sinton's Scania. So the race now between these two, Robin Porter out front and Avon Hyde and the Caltex White Road Boss, as they take to the S's. Back in the traffic, it's still Sinton versus Tulloch. Look at the Naga Racing truck, back bumper hanging right off it there. Show of some of the stock car tactics that have been in this race. Out front, though, it's Robin Porter and the Eagle Spears Kenworth. Still got the job in hand. Avon Hyde chasing, but look at the gap he's opened up. That's the Harry Thompson Bedford holding down third. Salter and Tulloch in close company. But Sinton heading for the pit lane and exit from the race. So troubles at the end of the day for the Scania. Robin Porter, on the other hand, takes his first win of the day in the last race.
coverage of the 1992 Caltex International Truck Race Series was proudly presented by One World of Sport and Caltex.